so here we have the first bike that I'm looking at off the most recent container, which arrived on Friday. This is the most sought after year Honda CR500 out there. It's 1989. When I say the most sought after, it's the most sought after in the UK for definite. And I think there's a couple of reasons for that. One is it's the year that Dave Thorpe won the 500cc World Championship on a Honda, obviously. Similar to this bike, but full factory spec. So an RC version. But these are what people do 89 RC 500 replicas out of. And then also it's the last year that you can ride in the Evo Championships. So this would be arguably the best bike to have in the Evo race series, if you like. I say arguably because some people will argue that you'd be better off on a Kawasaki, and some people would argue you'd be better off on a KTM or whatever. But some people would say a 250. But the top riders, you generally find they'll be on a CR, definitely a 500, and I would say the Hondas are the best bikes out there personally. There's only one better bike than a Honda, and that's generally next year's Honda. They're fantastically built bikes, fantastic to work on, always hold good money, always ride good, reliable. What's not to like? Anyway, so this bike is pre-sold. It's been ordered by a chap who I've dealt with before. He's been waiting a long time for it. I've been waiting a long time for the container, so I think I bought this bike in October last year. So we're now in June, just about to go into July. So, you know, we're nearly 9 months down the line of when I bought this bike. And I told them to ship the container in February, and it's taken until the end of June for it to arrive. So, been waiting a long time. But everything's finally here, and this bike is looking just as I was expecting, really. In restorable condition. These CR500s, the 89s, they hold really top money, especially when they're done up. They're very, very, very sought after bits of kit. And when I say it's in restorable condition, there's bits that need sorting out. Nothing major. I've already been on to a chap, Adrian Turnbull, and sourced the fella an original fuel tank for it, which he's going to restore for him, and then the rest of it just needs to be gone through. Pipe's nice on it. The wheels look nice and straight. It turns over. It's got good compression. It's supposed to be a running riding bike when I bought it. I haven't tried to fire it up yet. I'll be doing that in a minute, and you'll be able to see that. And we'll do the gearbox check, obviously, and then yeah, it is kind of as it is. Let's have a look over her in a little bit more detail so that you can see the condition of her, and hopefully the lad who's having it will see in more detail what needs doing to it and the general overall condition. But yeah, nice restorable condition bike for definite. So I've already mentioned the tank, and the lad who's having it had a bit of a keen eye, and he noticed there was a sump guard on it, so he wanted to see the condition of the frame rails underneath. So I've took the sump guard off, and there are a few minor dents which can be sorted out. Someone would be able to either pull them out, so heat and a puller, or a lot of people will fill those areas and then file them back and then you won't be able to tell that there was ever any damage there. And obviously, with them being filled, they'll just be a little bit more strong. I've done some close-ups of the crankcases. The crankcases are mint, and then this was the first year where it was an aluminium clutch cover, so it didn't have the corrosion issue on the water pump. The previous ones were magnesium, and they're generally always corroded. So this one should be fine, I'm sure. Like I say, decent compression, proper decent compression. I'm sure I'm going to get a bit of a sweat on firing it up. It won't have started for a long time, so it'll not go first kick, I'm sure of that. So tank needs replacing. We've sourced one of them. Engine and frame numbers are all intact, and they match up to the 1989 year. I took the number board off and got a picture of the VIN tag, the frame tag, which denotes the year, and you can tell it's original Honda paint on the frame. So it's never been powder coated, it's never been painted, which is nice. Lots of very original bits and pieces on this bike, really. They always change the tank because they ride them in the desert. It's got FMF gnarly pipe on it, and an FMF silencer as well. A couple of slight dents in the silencer under there. They'll be able to be pulled out. You can unbolt the end, and then you push that out. You can make that mint again. A couple of slight dents in the pipe, but very, very, very minor. That pipe could be done with being re-chromed. The forks, there's light corrosion on the fork tubes. They can be re-anodised. It's quite a cheap job to do, to have them re-anodised, or you can find another set. Front wheel is in immaculate, dirty but straight condition. Front hub also the same. When we first rolled it off the container, there seemed to be a bit of brake binding, which is quite common, but that appears to have freed off, maybe just from moving it. You can see on the back the rear disc is a bit rusty. That's not going to help the job. The brake pin's a bit rusty, also not going to help the job. It's not going to help it with the sliding. Fork seals, I would say, are gone on both sides, as you would expect. The bike is going to be restored, so that is to be expected. Like I say, engine cases and everything look to be mint. Stator covers mint. It's hardly even scuffed. Look, dirty, but hardly even scuffed. The cylinder looks mint. Doesn't look as though it's had any recent work. Radiator on this side looks to be in generally good nick. Even the radiator louver is all straight. They're the things that often get damaged or lost. And the radiator on this side looks good as well. Seat is going to need a new seat cover. Minor thing, you'd want to put brand new cover on it anyway. It looks to me as though these plastics at the back are not originals. Don't think that they are the original colour. That made in Italy there, so I'm going to say that's definitely not original. The airbox has got a bit of epoxy on it, so there's obviously either a hole that's been either worn in there or someone's created in there. That's what people do, they create holes in airboxes to get a bit of extra airflow and a bit of extra mud and stuff through. Shock looks to be in good nick, bump stop needs to be replaced, so while you're doing that you'll have the shock rebuilt and serviced. Swing arm looks in overall good condition. Always check on the underneath, there's a couple of scratches on there. Chain block, you get little bits of rocks hitting the front, but that's not bad at all. You expect quite a lot of damage on a 500 really in those kind of areas, but this one doesn't have that. The only thing I'd say is a bit of corrosion, you know, around the rear wheel area. Maybe that's been left outside or not sheeted up properly or something like that. Rear rim, no splits in it. Like the front, immaculate, perfectly round, matches the front. So I'd say that they're the original wheels that came with the bike. Great restorable bike, that. Good, honest condition, and shouldn't really be any nasty surprises in there. Be a lovely one to do. I'm sure it'll be absolutely lovely when it's done as well. Right, let's get the gearbox check done and then let's see if I can get it fired up. Okay, so we're in neutral there. Down into first. Obviously I am not going to be able to turn that wheel with the amount of compression in that engine. Up into second. Third. There we go, now I can turn it. Just. Fourth. Yeah. Fifth. Should be at the top of the gearbox, yeah. Fifth. Down into fourth. Third. Second. And neutral. So all 5 gears are there. And selecting fine. So on to getting it fired up. I'll go and put the dogs away and we'll see if we can get it started for you. Okay, we've just had it fired up and took quite a few kicks really, but it's fired up and he's running good. So we'll just get it started for you. Sounds flipping mint, doesn't it? Disappointingly, I would like to ride it, but if you follow me at all, you know I've just had knee surgery, so there's no way I can ride it really without risking that. Hopefully in a couple of weeks that'll be a different story. I'm itching to get on a bike, but maybe that's part of what got me in this position in the first place. Please like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just search Phoenix Motos.